Students and parents, the Carl Albert High School staff welcomes the class of 2023. We welcome you to our 8th grade parent night. My name is Michelle Purcell, and I am part of our counseling team with Mrs. Laura Souza and Mrs. Becky Worth. At this time, please rise for the presentation of the colors and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We ask that you quietly remain standing and hold your applause until the colors have exited the floor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There. On. Ready. Cut. File. Out.
I would like to introduce to you to a woman who is probably the most prideful Titan we have. She has been born and bred. She went through here as a student, as a teacher, as an assistant principal, and now she pridefully holds the position as the head principal, Mrs. Goggins.
Thank you so much, Ms. Purcell, and welcome to the class of 2023 and all of your parents. Thank you so much. This is a great first step in the right direction. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have a lot of valuable information, and we appreciate that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to come join us for this evening of events in which there's going to be a lot of valuable information for you. 8th graders, you have 77 days left in 8th grade, and then guess what? You get to roll up and be little dog up here at the high school. So looking forward to you finishing strong, and Mr. Terry is going to elaborate more on that. So we are excited to meet you very soon. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the administrative staff here at Carl Albert High School. First and foremost, I have Mr. Foley. Mr. Foley has been at Carl Albert High School for several years, and he is in charge of the juniors and the seniors. Also, we have Mrs. Ross. Mrs. Ross helps with the academic piece, as well as she is in charge of the sophomores. You're going to hear some more from her later on this evening. And at this time, it gives me great pleasure, class of 2023, to introduce you to your freshman principal, Mr. Josh Terry.
Not very often the principal gets clapped for. It's good. So I had the privilege of meeting with your students last week with the counselors. Sorry, it's super bright and that's awkward. But meeting with your students and the counselors to kind of go over a few things. Myself, like Ms. Goggins, I'm a Titan. I graduated from here, went to CAHS as a junior high then. So I take a lot of pride in this place. Got to speak with them about the expectations that we have here, and that the honors and accolades that we get as a school, academically, fine arts, all of that comes with high expectations. We're never going to lower our standards, and we're going to expect your students to meet our standards so that they can gain the success and notoriety that comes with being a Titan. Also spoke with them about finishing strong. There are some tests that they're going to have to take this year. Those tests are a pretty big deal. Every kid in the room, except there was one young lady, I don't remember her name, raised their hand that they wanted to drive when they became 16. She didn't really care about driving, I guess, but they let them know that their reading test plays a big part in that. All of their state tests that they take this year can impact the classes that they're enrolled in. So finish strong, show up to school, do the right thing, and we'll all roll up here and we'll have a great 4 years. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Souza, and the counseling office is divided by last name. So whichever counselor your son or daughter is attached to, that's who they're going to have for 4 years. So hopefully we build a great relationship and they like us as much as we like them. I am last name A through G, so I take care of the beginning of the alphabet. And if you've had an older child that's gone through, hopefully I've been their counselor, and we had a good experience. And you'll be okay with me having your next child. A little bit about me. This is my 10th year at Carl Albert, and I started in Putnam City, so I didn't even know Middle existed, and I came out here to the big world of Middle, and I never wanted to go home. So love being a Titan. My kids are Titans, and I will give it to our next counselor.
My name is Becky Worth, and if your child falls in the middle of the alphabet, their last name begins with the letters H through P, then I'm going to be their counselor for the next 4 years. We are excited about the class of 2023 coming up to Carl Albert High School, and I will agree with Mr. Terry, we have high expectations. I've been at Carl Albert, this will be my 7th year here at Carl Albert, and one of the things that impressed me when I came to this school is that they had high expectations in all areas, and that's what really kept me here. I have 2 children. One is 20 and is a senior in college and getting married this summer, so there's a lot going on at our house. And then I have a senior this year that will graduate, and so like I shared with your students, 2019 is a big year in the Worth household. We're going to move from having a house full to not having anybody in the house. So it will be an exciting time for us. But we are so excited about you guys coming up. When we get finished tonight, the counselors will be at a table over in the main hallway in the main building. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by and talk to us.
Again, I am Michelle Purcell, and I have the tail end of the alphabet. I will be on a 4-year journey with your son or daughter if their last name is Q through Z. However, we do all work together and sometimes cross over depending on what's going on. So we try to get to know as many students as we possibly can. A little bit about my background. I've been in public school education for 23 years. This is my 4th year at Carl Albert High School. I began my career at Middle, and I came back home 7 years ago with my first counseling position at Delcrest, and absolutely loved being back home in Middle. And that's what brought me to Carl Albert High School. I taught prior to that 16 years in many different areas. So I'm excited to be a Titan, and I love the pride that we carry here. So we will get started. We really appreciate you being here, and we will get started and give you the information that is needed. Let's talk about the enrollment form. Your son or your daughter should have brought home an enrollment form last week. On the back, there were a list of courses. At the top, it was the list of the core classes, and towards the bottom, the list of all of your electives that you can choose from. Now, you may get online and see that there's an academic planning guide that shows all courses that are offered. That may be at other schools. The only courses that we offer are what's listed on your form that's offered for freshmen. Also, Mrs. Souza went above and beyond, and she typed out every single elective course we offer here and gave that to your son or daughter, and it was about 2 pages. So all 9th grade courses that you are allowed to take are listed on the back of this enrollment form. Those are the ones that you will request, and we ask that you please do that. Descriptions of these courses are, again, posted on our Middle website, but I highly encourage you to ask your son or daughter, hey, can I see the handout the counselors gave you? Only courses on your enrollment form are the courses available for your grade. As you progress forward into sophomore, junior, senior year, you will find that more classes will be available to you. Let's talk about the form itself. Like Mr. Terry said, we have expectations here. We have a certain way that we like to do things, and we're not doing it to be mean to your son or daughter. We're doing it to treat them like a young adult, that we want to go out and be able to get a job when they turn 16. When they graduate, they feel that they can stand on their own. So we want these forms filled out in a particular way. The first thing, we ask for the students to put their name, their last name, their first name, their middle name. It is very important that they put their legal name. I know that sometimes we call our children by a nickname or by their middle name, or we shorten their name, or they like to go by a different last name. But due to records and due to when we pull them up in Power School, we need their legal name on there. Or we might throw it away and think, oh, that kid withdrew. So make sure their legal name that would be in Power School is the one that's on there, please. We need a parent telephone number, please. Realize it says summer, but we would like a parent or guardian telephone number. While no, we aren't expected to work during the summer, we really get eager about that master schedule rolling over, and we get eager to make sure that our students are placed right where they have requested and right where they belong. So sometimes in the summer we might be working, maybe a class had to be dropped due to staffing, and we would want to make that phone call if it was something like AP Human Geography, because you have a plan. So please put a phone number. We need your signature. We stress to your son and daughter, even though they are coming in high school and we expect for them to be responsible, we also expect for them to allow you to be a part of their educational experience here in high school, because you are still their parent, and so they need to make you aware of what's going on. So we ask that you sign that, and we ask for an email. As you know, email is one of the greatest ways to communicate. Okay. Then if you go to the bottom of the form, and thank you, I see many of you with your blue forms here tonight, which is excellent looking at them. If you look at the bottom of the form, we say to choose courses to complete a 7-hour day. We don't go half days. We don't decide that, well, we do best after second hour. By state law, we have to have you in school for a certain amount of time. Yes, there are some privileges as you go up in high school that get you out of the site itself, but as a freshman, you will be in our site 7 hours a day. We will need you to put down the course name and number. If a signature is required for an elective you choose, such as a sport, competitive academics, you will need to get that signature, which will happen after this meeting. You must give 4 alternate courses. Sometimes there's no room in a course you picked. Sometimes it's been cut for some reason, and so we need an alternate to pick from. If your student does not pick, we pick for them. And getting a schedule change is very challenging after it's done. So if you look at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, I know this is different because you're coming to high school. English is pretty self-explanatory. You would either put pre-AP English or English, and you would put the course number. And by the way, your students were excellent at calling out course numbers to us. They were very good at that, so they should know how to do this. Where it says the pre-AP agreement, and there's a little line there, you do nothing with that. We're the ones who check that. If you look at number 4, Oklahoma history, and you put the course title and the course number, then right below that it says an elective of 0.5 unit. You need to find a semester elective to put there. We cannot promise you that that's what will line up. For example, you want to take health, and it's offered only second hour, and you want to take pre-AP Oklahoma history, and it's only offered 5th hour. It would not align up. So that's when we would come down and pull from your alternate. So that's, again, why the alternate is very important. Then if you go down and you look at your electives, 5, 6, 7, course title and number, there's 2 sets of lines on each one of those. If you pick a 0.5, you have to pick 2 of those. If you pick a 1, you only pick one because 1 equals 1 full year, 8.5 equals 1 semester. So we have semester courses and full year courses. And then again, please fill in your alternates so that we don't have to pick those for you. At this time, Mrs. Souza is going to go over graduation requirements.
Okay. So at Carl Albert, there are certain graduation requirements that the state mandates. We deliver those classes, and then it's up to the student to pass those classes and walk across that stage in 4 years. On page 15, and I'm telling you the page number, but I don't want you to all turn to that page because then it would get really noisy. But in your academic planning guide that some of you may have picked up, or your student brought one home, either way, they're the exact same thing. On page 15, there is a course requirements graduation kind of checklist that you can check things off, put the grade in it as semesters end. You can see what courses you've completed. And then you can also, if you know there's things you want to do, Ms. Ward's going to talk about looking into the future here pretty soon, and some things that you can do as a junior and a senior. So if those are things you want to do, kind of map out how you want your 4 years to look, and that way you can make sure you get those graduation requirements finished. So I'll just start out. Language arts, you have 4 units, and a unit is a full year. So we map that out for you, a unit each year, English 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next is math, and that is 3 units at the high school. So if you're in pre-AP Algebra 1 right now, that is a high school math, but you didn't take it at the high school, so you still have 3 more maths to take. Science is 3 units. One of them has to be biology, which everybody will take freshman year, and then the other one has to be a physical science, which physical science can be chemistry, physical science, or physics. And you can take that either sophomore or junior year or senior year. And then the third science can be any science of your choice. We have some other, I like to say fun sciences, not that they're not all fun. If you like science, then they're all fun. And then social studies is 3 units, and we map that out for you as well. Next year, you will all take Oklahoma history, which is a semester class. Sophomore year, you'll take world history, which is a full year. Junior year, U.S. history, which is another full year. And then senior year is government, which is just a half a year. So half plus 1 plus 1 plus half, 3. Then foreign language or computers, and you have to do 2 years. And sometimes this can get kind of tricky, but if you just think of it, the 2 years as 2 consecutive years of the same thing. So Spanish 1 and 2, French 1 and 2, computer apps 1 and 2, and then computer apps 3 would be 2 full years. You just can't do Spanish 1 and French 1, and that counts. You can do Spanish 1 and 2 and then take French 1 if we have room for it. More power to you. Spanish 1 and 2 and then take computers, we would love for you to do that. But to fill that requirement, it has to be 2 consecutive of the same. And then 1 additional unit, additional core unit, which would be an additional math, an additional science, or an additional foreign language or computers. So that's where that, if you did Spanish 1 and 2 and then you took computer apps, then that computer applications would count as that additional unit. Or we like to encourage the kids to take math all 4 years so they are ready for that college algebra in their freshman year in college. That senior math would count as your additional unit. Usually kids have more than 1 additional unit at Carl Albert, so we expect you guys to stick to that standard. Fine arts is 1 full unit or a set of competencies. So we have music classes, we have drama classes, we have band classes. All of those are fine arts and art classes. Did I say art? And then we have set of competencies, which is a class called humanities. So I told the kids, if you were that kid that can't draw, and you can't sing, and you can't play an instrument, right here, then there's a course called humanities, and that is just a semester, and it takes care of your whole year of your set of competencies. So that might be something that they want to look into. And then economics takes care of the personal financial literacy piece that the state requires, and we pair that with government senior year. So that's automatically put in the schedule senior year. And if you are a student that already knows you want to do concurrent enrollment, there's other ways for us to get that economics class if you're not able to take it here at Carl Albert. And then you have electives that equal 24. So you have to have 24 units to graduate. You will all graduate with way more than 24 because there's 7 units a year, and you're here for 4 years, so that's 28. I made the kids yell that out to me the other day, but I won't. It's late. I won't make you do that. So everybody's going to graduate with way more than that because, again, high standards. We just want you to make sure that you're getting those graduation requirements taken care of. Ms. Worth's going to talk about getting the elective graduation requirements for freshman and sophomore year so that you can open your schedule up junior and senior year for things that I don't want to spoil it, but things that we're going to talk about later on here in a little bit. So when she mentions that, that's that foreign language and down on this list. So your foreign language, not your additional core, but your foreign language, your fine arts, things like that can be taken care of any year that you're here. But we like to encourage that freshman and sophomore year. Okay. They're not coming up now, though, are they? I got to talk about this first. Okay. In the counseling office, our favorite way to get information out to the students is a thing we call Remind. And hopefully some of your teachers at the middle school have used this resource. So we have a Remind for every class. So if you would like to snap a picture of this, or if you want to go ahead and sign up right now, you can. It's very simple. This is a text message that we can send out a message to all the freshmen at one time. So, question?
I thought you were discontinuing that because they started charging.
No, Verizon came back and said they were not going to charge. So it's free. It's free for all networks. Yeah. Unless something's happened in the last couple of weeks. At first, Verizon said they were, but then they're not going to. So we do announcements, and we try to get that information out, but Remind is really the best way.
When you text it, is it at CAHS 2023?
Yes. So you're gonna text to. I flipped it over. Let me go to the next one. Yes. Click. Beep. Mr. Perry. Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay. I didn't make the right noise. So you're gonna. I'm sorry. Thank you. I went to the next. We need to go to the next slide. So you're gonna text 81010, and then in the message line, you're going to do the @ CAHS 2023. And again, freshman year, you won't get that many messages. I'll just be honest, but the older your student gets, the more they will get. And I can tell you that the seniors that are going to come out and talk to you here in a little bit, they can tell you that we have been inundating them with messages about scholarships. So I will let them talk. Whoever's going to come out next.
Is this how great it is? Okay.
Yeah, how great it is.
Hi, my name is Ethan Ridenauer. I'm a senior. So she pretty much, whoa, hi. She pretty much explained Remind, exactly what it is. So every student gets a simultaneous text message. Mm-hmm. Yes, text message at the same time. So freshman, I didn't get a lot, but now as a senior, I get probably 3 a day. Yeah, just today. So it's like upcoming events, like games, football, times like that. But also it teaches you what colleges are in the area, scholarship opportunities, and then, I'm sorry, I'm making a fool of myself. And then colleges that are actually in the lunchroom that you can meet with and learn about financial aid. So they're talking about me behind my back. But so you get to learn everything you need to know from the counselors, and they'll be right with you. If you have any problems, just talk to them, and it should be fine. All right, thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Mallory Purcell, and I'm a senior, and I'm going to talk to you about getting involved. There's a lot of clubs, a lot of sports, a lot of organizations you can get involved in, so I really suggest you do. It makes high school a lot more fun. You find new things you like, you find friends. There's so many things you can join, and you did not have to be involved with those things in middle school to join them in high school. And if you were involved in things in middle school, you don't have to be involved with them in high school. You can join anything you want. I really suggest going to football games, basketball games. Those are always fun. You may not like watching the sport, but it's just fun to be there with friends and cheering on the team. There's several clubs like Art Club, FFA, ROTC. There's a lot to get involved with, so I just suggest you do that. That's where you get all your memories from for high school, is from what you're involved in. So, yeah, that's all I got for that.
Okay, now we're going to talk about looking to the future for some things. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is Oklahoma's Promise. And we visited with one of the middle school counselors after school today, and she said that they had already been in to talk to the 8th graders about this, so I'm just going to be kind of brief with what I'm going to tell you about it. If you don't know what it is, Oklahoma Promise is a scholarship program that is based on financial need, and you must apply for it during your 8th, 9th, or 10th grade year. The cutoff is usually sometime during June after the sophomore year. If your adjusted gross income equals $55,000 or less, then you need to apply for it in the year that you meet that requirement. Because let's say you meet that requirement where a child is in 8th grade, but then while they're in 9th and 10th grade, you're above that $55,000 limit, you're out of luck. You have to apply in the year that you meet the financial requirement. If your student is accepted for Oklahoma's Promise, there are GPA requirements that they must meet. It is 2.5 GPA in what we call our core courses, which is your 4 cores, your foreign language or computers, and then a fine arts. And also their GPA has to be a 2.5 overall. Make sure, again, you apply in the year that you qualify. That is very, very important. And you can go to the Oklahoma Promise webpage and find out more information. I know the people that work in that office personally, and they're very, very helpful. So if you want to call and talk to them, or if they're not there, leave a message and they will get back to you very quickly. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is the Ticket to Rose program. How many of you have heard of the Ticket to Rose program? That is awesome. That is awesome. I did not grow up in this part of the state. I grew up in kind of up by Tulsa, and at that time, of course, I'm a little bit older than a lot of you that are in here, but at that time there was not a program like this, and it really would have been helpful to me, I think, and to my 5 older brothers had there been a program like this whenever all of us were going to college. But what it is, if your student carries a 2.5 overall GPA during their high school career, then they qualify for the Ticket to Rose scholarship, and it is a scholarship. It has to be applied for. So the senior year, your student will need to apply to be admitted to Rose State, and then also do an application for the Ticket to Rose program. During the senior year, there's a lot of information that goes out about it. We even have Rose State reps that come in and help the kids to sign up for it. So we always say, sign up for the Ticket to Rose program, whether it's the Plan A, that's exactly what you're going to do when you graduate from high school, or if it's your Plan B, which would be your fallback plan, because it is really an awesome opportunity that Rose State provides for our students. It'll pay for up to 62 credit hours, which is enough to get an associate's degree. And again, you must maintain an overall GPA of 2.5 for it. And then we move on to concurrent enrollment at Rose State. Concurrent enrollment is taking college-level courses while you are in high school. Both of my children have taken advantage of the concurrent enrollment courses that are at Rose State. It saved us and saved them a lot of money. My son will be starting in the fall at the university he's choosing to attend, and he'll have almost 2 semesters of college done and over with through concurrent and through AP tests that he's passed. So again, it is a cost saving. However, you need to make sure and speak with your child's counselor, and your child needs to speak with her counselor when that becomes available, which will start in the junior year, because there needs to be a level of maturity that they can handle taking a college level course. If you don't think that they can handle it, our advice is don't do it, okay? Because if you can't handle being responsible, you can't handle getting work turned in just for your high school courses, odds are you're probably not going to be successful taking concurrent courses. Dual enrollment is another term that you'll hear. It is concurrent enrollment, but what makes it dual enrollment is it counts for a required course at the high school level. So, for example, if, like my son took government at Rose State, he's not taking government at Carl Albert High School because his government at Rose State took the place of government here at Carl Albert. So that's what the dual enrollment is. Now keep in mind, those grades go in the high school transcript. They also start their college transcript. So 2 different transcripts that grade is going on. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're making the decision whether you're going to do concurrent enrollment or not. And it can be really helpful, but again, you need to be able to handle it. You need to be mature enough and responsible enough to take those types of courses. Their junior and senior year is when they can take these courses. With the required electives that Ms. Souza referred to, if you think that concurrent may be on your radar for your junior or senior year, you need to talk with your counselor to let them know so that we can get some of those required electives taken care of, because one concurrent course at Rose takes the place of 2 hours here at Carl Albert High School. So you have to have room in your schedule to be able to take those concurrent courses, okay? The next thing we're going to talk about is NCAA Clearinghouse. I know we probably have a lot of school athletes here in the room, and some of you may have aspirations to play at the collegiate level. Keep in mind, grades now are important. How you do on college entrance exams are going to be important. That would be ACT or SAT. And your behavior, there are a lot of things that go into play if you're going to play sports at the collegiate level. The biggest thing, though, at this age that you need to do is when we sit down with your child to do the one-on-one conferences, which we'll do first part of February, they need to let us know that they are considering playing at the collegiate level so that we can make sure that we steer them into the courses that NCAA will accept, because NCAA does not accept all courses that any high school in the United States offers. There are only particular ones that they will accept. So we need to make sure that we meet what's called the core course requirement for those NCAA accepted courses. And we don't like when senior year starts, one of them coming in and saying, you know, I'm going to go play ball at whatever school it may be, and we look at their credit check and go, how are we going to make this happen? Because they haven't taken the courses that they needed to take. It does cost to sign up for the NCAA Clearinghouse, but you can create a student profile on there for free and just see if some colleges have interest in them. Signing up is not a big deal right now. The biggest thing is that your student needs to let their counselor know that they may be looking at playing at the collegiate level so that we can start right now getting them into the courses that they need to take. And I do believe that my time is up. So we have some more fabulous seniors. They're going to come out and talk to you about some more things about the high school. It's not so scary.
Hi, fellow Titans. My name is Audrey Allard, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the cafeteria and the lunchroom. I know that everyone's always worried about oh my gosh, lunchroom's going to be so crazy, but it's really not. So the bell's going to ring when you go to lunch. And if you guys remember at the middle school, the a la carte lines are on the outside and the hot food lines are on the inside. It's the same thing here at the high school. My notes. There's a stage area to sit that has a few tables, and then there's the floor to sit, and there's booths and more tables. So there's 4 to a table, and you just go sit down with your friends, and you can't move chairs or Coach Rollins will get you. So watch out, make sure you have your lanyard on. They'll get you on that too. And they release in sections and in groups, so you just wait patiently, and they'll let you go. You'll go back to class. It's really simple and really fun. I know lunch has always been a really great time in my high school experience because it's a great break from the day, and you just get to be with your friends. And so, that's pretty much it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Middell Technology Center, and we have a little video to watch at the beginning.
Middell Technology Center provides education for today, training for tomorrow, and opportunities for a lifetime. You can choose from 17 different career fields. Our programs are designed to meet the growing needs of businesses and industries in our area. You'll learn skills that employers are looking for. At Middale Technology Center, you'll spend more time doing hands-on projects and actually applying the skills you've learned. Our classrooms look just like what you would see out in the job field. Your instructors are there for you every step of the way. They care about your future and your success. Students make lasting friendships as you work side by side to complete projects and reach common goals. As a senior, you'll be eligible to participate in on-the-job training, where you'll report to work at an internship instead of coming to class. Upon completion at Middale Technology Center, you'll be prepared to go to work, college, or both. Middale Technology Center. Education for today. Training for tomorrow. Opportunities for a lifetime.
Okay. So unfortunately, one of our counselors could not be here tonight from the Technology Center, but she gave me some really good information to share with you. So this is another one of those things that we're talking about looking to the future. If the Technology Center is something that you think that you're going to be interested in, that happens junior or senior year, and that takes 3 hours out of your day to do your career at the Tech Center. So if you still have your foreign language or your computers or your fine arts that you need to get taken care of, then we might not be able to start that junior year. So one of the things that they wanted me to iterate was that the Technology Center does not mean that you are choosing that over college. Many of our students that are at the Technology Center go on to go to college as well. So it's not a one or the other. Some do both, and some they do just do the Technology Center, and that's what they need to go on into the workforce. But don't think that just going to the Technology Center means that your students wouldn't go to college. I already said that it takes 3 hours out of your day. Juniors are usually in the morning, and seniors are in the afternoon. Everybody always comes back for 7th hour, so 1st through 3rd, 4th through 6th. And then the Middale Technology Center, they have adult students there too. So not that your student's going to be in classes with adult students, but the instructors there expect for our students to act like the adult students that are there as well. So they're going to be trained the exact same way. They're learning the exact same material. So they are expected to behave like young adults and treat the career that they pick as a job, because that's a lot of what they're doing. Is they do some core work and they do some book work, but a lot of their job is hands-on training, and so it's their job that they're learning. And a lot of the programs give college credit. So whenever all the sophomores will go over and do a tour. Unfortunately, the tours are really fast, and their kids are only in there for probably about 4 minutes at the most, and they get to hear from one of the upperclassmen tell about the career. So hopefully you'll get to know some more information about that, and then the counselors from the Tech Center will come over and kind of interview if you're interested in that position, in that career field. And then also some of the programs have a work study that is second semester or senior year. So I know like the nursing program, if you have to be 18 by your second semester of your senior year, then they can put you in a work study program where you're actually getting hands-on training out in the workforce. So I know they're really proud of some of those things. And then the sophomore to your senior year, and that is it about the Tech Center. So I believe that we have a special guest. Yes. The choir is going to come and present the alma mater for you. Yes? Yes? Everybody else does. Okay, you're going to talk about it? Yeah, I will. Okay.
Hello, my name is Kenneth McIntosh, Mr. McIntosh to you. If you are interested in choir, I'm the person you see. We've got a few kids from our varsity choir. We're going to sing the alma mater. And the alma mater is really special here at Carl Albert. I went to Del City, and I can tell you it is nothing like the alma mater here. It really is something magical that happens. Just to kind of put it into perspective, imagine going to an assembly and every student participates in the alma mater. Every student links arms. Every student is swaying. It truly is something magical, and it really does show our solidarity between all of our programs and all of our students. So if you would please stand, link arms with the person next to you. Don't worry if you don't know the words. We are backing you up. We've got your back. Welcome to the Titan family. This is it. If you do know it, sing it loud and proud. And yeah, it really is magical.
Thank you guys so much. That was awesome. And now, a man that needs no introduction. And just to say, we sing that at the end of all the games that we win. And that's a lot because we have this gentleman coming up. And I don't think he knows how to lose a football game. So, Mr. Mike Corley.
Pretty awesome group right there. Thing I like to see that. There's several athletes that are there also singing. They do it all. So I want to talk to you just a little bit. I'm not going to take much time here about athletics. I'll just start out by saying athletics, we have high expectations, okay? And the ladies up here have already mentioned this, but I just want you guys to hear it from me. It's a privilege to get to play, okay, in any sport or activity that's up here. And we're going to hold everyone to that high standard. If we want to be champions, then there's got to be a high standard, and we've done that for a long time around here. So what do I mean by that? Number one, I tell my guys they got to be a good student. They have to be a good student. They have to act right in that class. They have to get their work done, have to get it turned in. They have to do right. Okay. And secondly, they have to be a good citizen. Again, you heard the ladies talking a second ago. In the cafeteria, in the hallway, be respectful, do the right thing. You know, Dr. Kirk, who was here for a long time, said, "Good choices, good things happen. Bad choices, bad things happen." That's so true. But we're going to hold them to that high standard, and if they don't do that, then there will be consequences. Okay. I wish we'd come to school every day and everything just rocked along smooth as silk, and we go play our athletics after school and everything's good. But that doesn't always happen. So if there is an issue, then Coach Corley or the coach gets involved with that, and we're going to get that worked out. Okay. So just know that up front. Also, just along the line with what they were saying a second ago, if you have aspirations, your child has aspirations to go on to the next level, here's the first thing those recruiters are going to ask me, just like going to a job interview. They're going to say, what type of kid is he? What kind of grades does he have? That's the first two things I get. They don't even start talking about can they play just yet. Those are the first two things I get. And if you know me, I'm going to be very truthful with them. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell them exactly what's going on. I've had young men that had some issues starting out. They matured. They got better, and they got better to where they were an outstanding citizen, an outstanding football player. Okay, I'm going to tell that college coach that. When he was a freshman, he was kind of a knucklehead, but he was a kid that I was going to stay with. We're going to work with. He came around, he did the right thing, he matured, he got better, and turned into a great football player, a great kid. Okay? So those are the things that I'm going to get when a recruiter comes in, or any of the coaches. That's the first thing they're going to ask. So we really stress to our athletes that they, number one, you're a good student. Pay attention, do your work, turn your work in. And number two, you're a good citizen over there in that hallway. That's the most important thing. And believe me, that carries over to the football field or to any athletic program. Okay? Here in a second, when we dismiss, you will go over to the old gym and you will go to different areas in there. We have sign-up sheets. The coaches should be there. If they're not, they should have a sign-up sheet for you. There are qualifications. Okay? Know this, that there are some qualifications, some standards that each coach may have for you. I'm just going to use football example because it's mine. We have a fitness course in the summertime called PC training. If you're going to play football, then you're going to be at that every day, 4 days a week. Okay, 4 days a week. You're going to be there. If you're not, then you're not going to play football. Okay, we can't win championship with guys that just show up when they want to. That doesn't work. Okay, so golf, for instance, I coached golf a long time. I had my young ladies, they had to play, I think it was 5 tournaments throughout the summertime. They had to show me they wanted to play golf. So there are some requirements. Again, your coaches should have that over there for them. They may have camps that say, hey, you got to be here in order to do this. Okay? So just be aware of that when you go over there. The second thing that I have, it's called Rank 1. It's all online now. You can go to the Middale and get on there. And we really need you guys from the get-go to jump on this. Okay? There's several forms that you have to go on and fill out. One of them is an OSSAA eligibility form. You need to read that very carefully when you go through that. If you put yes down, then I have to investigate it. Okay? So you need to answer that truthfully. But if you answer yes on any of those questions, I think there's like 25 questions, then Kim, our trainer, circles that, and then I have to go look at that and investigate what this is. Okay? It's an OSSA eligibility form. There's some other forms on there, athletic and activity consent and signature forms that you have to sign. Okay? And then the last thing that I want to mention is physicals. Okay? Your child cannot participate if they do not have a physical or these forms filled out. Okay? On our screen there, it's red until all of this is filled out. Kim goes through there with a fine-tooth comb, and if anything's not filled out, she does not check your child off to participate. Okay? And it's red. It has to be green before they can participate. Okay? And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you got your calendar, your phone, get it out right now and put this down there. I have made copies that are on all the tables over there. We provide physicals here at school. It's going to be May 14th. Okay? May 14th in the field house. We have 10, 15 doctors come in, OSOI come in, and they do a good job, and we get everybody processed that day. You need to sign up. You need to be there to take that physical. We'll have more information coming out later, but it is May 14th. It costs $15. That's cheaper than a physical I believe you can go get at the doctor. And it is done. Okay? We've had issues, especially springtime sports, where kids come out there and they don't have their physical. They should have got that done back in May. Everybody hear that? So we need you to come take that physical on May 14th down in the field house. Again, there'll be more information. I'll send information down to the junior high, to Miss Anderson, and she'll have all that stuff out there to you guys. Okay? Questions? Okay. We'll see you guys over there in the gym.
Hello So my name is Jarrell Steen. I'm here to talk to you guys about why it's important to talk to your teachers. Good communication with your teachers is needed whenever you're going to be sick, going to be gone for a school event, you're going to be late to class, so it can range from, hey, I'm going to use the bathroom, so I'm not absent, to I'm going to be gone for a week because I was sick. And you want to keep good communication with your teachers because it helps both parties. It helps them not have to wonder / worry where you're at, and then it helps you because it helps you not get behind. And the teachers here aren't scary. It might seem like it at first, but they actually want to help you guys, so don't be afraid whenever you need to talk to them about something that's going on with you. And another thing, when you're going to be gone for a long time, make sure you talk to them in advance, so you can get your word. Say, because I'm in tennis, and whenever I'm gone for a tennis tournament, I have to get my word well ahead so I don't get behind. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Alicia Glover, and I'm also a senior here at Carl Albert. And I would just gonna give you guys a few tips of just how to be organized in high school and everything like that. And just set an agenda and learn to be accountable for yourself. You're not gonna be babies anymore, so you gotta take responsibility and make sure you get your stuff done. Power School, you'll have Power School all 4 years of high school, and that just helps keep track of your grades and missing assignments and anything coming up, in the future that you'll need to prepare for. And then always write important dates and information down that you'll need to know or give to your parents or anything like that. And then time management, don't plan around the hour of the day, because it'll just kind of get you off track. So just take your time and do what you got to do, and just prioritize. Do what should be done first, and so you won't have homework at the end of the day. Who wants homework? I don't. So there you go. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Ms. Ross, and real quick, Ms. Susan, step up here. I don't know what the challenge is for almost every student and every parent. I'm Ms. Ross. I'm one of the assistant principals. This is Ms. Souza. She is a counselor. We do answer to either name, and we will send you to the right person if you go to the wrong person. But I don't think we look that much alike. She doesn't think we look that much alike.
I take it as a huge compliment.
But it happens at least 2 or 3 times a week. We get called each other's names. So, okay. All right, so we are going to talk a little bit about some pre-AP and AP courses. We definitely want you to challenge yourself, but there are some questions, and it does change from the middle school to the high school a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, too. Okay, so first, the pre-AP courses, which is everything that you've taken in the middle school so far has been a pre-AP course, which I know a lot of times some of the students drop off and just call them AP when they're in the middle school, but they are getting you ready for the true AP courses, which is why it has the pre in front of it. So some of the pre-AP courses we have some in art, which are very exciting, I know, for some of the students that are fantastic artists. We have an excellent AP art program here, one of the top in the state. And then English 1 and English 2 will still be pre-AP. You do not get into true AP courses until your junior year for English. History is the only one that is freshman only. It'll still be pre-AP OFOM history. And then you jump right into the AP your sophomore year. Math, everything until you get to calculus. Hopefully we're looking at maybe bringing back a statistics course as well, but right now everything besides calculus in the math department is pre-AP. The only pre-AP Algebra 1 you could get is at the middle school. We just don't have a big enough group that needs it in high school, so if you are taking Algebra 1 next year, it will just be regular Algebra 1. And then we offer biology and chemistry for science, and our pre-AP courses, I believe at CAHS you could still get pre-AP Spanish 1. Here at the high school, the only pre-AP versions we have would be directly in front of the AP course, so it would take the place of Spanish 4. And then the AP courses, I don't want to read everything to you straight off the slide. That's super boring. So as I was saying, some of them start each year. The freshman year, the ones that are available to freshmen, AP Human Geography, we offer that alternating years, and there's not really a grade level required on that. So you can take it as a freshman, and that is one that will be offered next year. Next year is one of the years it's on. So it'll be offered your freshman and then your junior year, and those are the only 2 years that class makes. And because that's like an added elective, and so we just don't have enough students that need that every year. And then computer science principles is another one to look into if you're a freshman. I kind of relate that if you were going to jump into the true AP courses as a freshman. People say, varsity athletics. Most freshmen don't make the varsity athletic team, but there are those few. So if you are that person academically and you are that driven academically, then you might look into doing some of the AP courses. Otherwise, you'll be in the pre-AP, still being pushed, still being challenged, but to jump into a true AP course, we want you to have a positive experience. We don't want to discourage you from trying things, but for it to turn out well for everybody, it really needs to be just those very few select students that try an AP course their freshman year. We are also looking at probably adding an economics course. Your group is it this group that's the first ones, or last year's, or this year's? This group is the first ones that will have to have the economics class, so we're looking at getting that in place by the time you're old enough to take it. Like I said, we're looking at bringing back some statistics and maybe some other courses, so hopefully we'll be adding to that list, but as of right now, that's what we offer. The biggest thing for our students to be aware of is that there is some added GPA bonus points. They changed this probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and to where it's not just the old, you get 0.02 added to your GPA no matter what class you're taking if it's above course level. So the pre-AP courses, you get, if you have an A, you have a 4.5, and it factors in to your GPA that way. If you're taking a true AP course, then it's a 5.0 scale. So when you make an A, you get a 5.0, a B, a 4.0. That is for some comfort in knowing that it's going to be a harder course. So if you make a B in an AP course, you still have a 4.0 if you finish the course. There is no waiting for D's and F's. You have to earn a good grade, A, B, or C, to get the weighting. Completing the course is something you'll hear us say. That means that if it's a true AP course, you sit for the exam, which is in the spring. There is a cost associated with the exam, similar to the cost associated with taking a concurrent class. Both of these things are concurrent and AP are college level courses. So both of them have a pretty similar cost associated with them right now. If a student chooses not to take the AP test in the spring, then it does roll back. You still get the pre-AP weighting, but sitting for and studying for that exam, it's anywhere from a 2.5 to 4 hour long test. Very similar to some of the finals you'll take in college, actually probably a little bit harder than most of the finals you'll take in college. So that is where that really learning to study and persevere through that, you definitely get rewarded for that. So some of the benefits to students that are in the AP classes, obviously it's to prepare you for college, and I think I started right in assuming everybody knew what the AP and pre-AP classes were. AP stands for Advanced Placement. It's run by the College Board, which is the same company that runs the SAT. So they've been around for a long time. They work very closely. They listen to teachers. There's been lots of courses that have been redesigned and reconfigured based on teacher feedback. There are requirements that teachers have to complete and submit their syllabus to the College Board so that they ensure that what you're being taught is what's going to be asked of you on the test. So there's a lot of extra things that go into preparing for these courses. They do make sure that you're exploring some advanced topics. Those of you that love to learn, these courses are meant for you. Developing the advanced skills, I can tell you from having a daughter that just graduated and is at OSU right now, this is, to me, one of the biggest benefits. She wasn't a superstar academic girl. Love her, she tried hard, she did her best, she got what she needed out of high school. I know that she survived her first year at OSU because of many of the things that she learned through her AP classes. Not being afraid to go talk to her professor because she had to go ask for help in her AP classes. Not being afraid that, oh my gosh, I didn't do good on this quiz, I need to go drop the class. What do I need to do to get better? Learning to persevere, that's a huge thing, and it's very huge as a freshman to have that skill. And so again, being able to build that confidence is a huge asset to the AP program. We've asked the AP teachers over the years things that they want you to keep in mind. And the biggest thing students and parents have to remember is that the learning process is the focus. We want them, many of the students have never been challenged until they get to an AP class. They haven't had homework, they haven't been asked, even if they're told to read something outside of school, they can get it done in the car on the way, or they can do it between their classes, and they're just been those outstanding students forever. And then they hit their first AP class, or maybe it's when they've got 2 or 3 AP classes at once, but learning to overcome that, and again, learning how to learn. Sometimes learning is a frustrating process, because if you already know it, there's no challenge. So letting them struggle a little bit as they're learning and encouraging them is huge. Another one that we really try to remind people, on average an AP course, a true AP course, not the pre-AP courses, is equivalent to taking 3 to 5 college hours. AP chemistry is worth many more than that. And I'm not saying that to scare you, I'm saying that to keep that in mind as you're enrolling in the future, that if you have your student taking 4 AP classes and they're a competitive athlete and they're doing concurrent enrollment, well, their 4 AP classes alone are more than a full load for a college student. So just keep that in mind, be aware. It takes a lot of effort. Also, the students need to want to be in the classes. I think that's probably the biggest one for the people in the room, because I know, having have one still at middle school and one that went through the middle school, a lot of times you put them in the pre-AP classes so that they're around the kids who you're hoping are better students, and that can sometimes backfire on you with the pre-AP and AP classes. If the kid doesn't want to be there and you don't want to fight that battle the entire year, it's a serious conversation you need to have. It's a hard battle when it's the true AP classes. And again, making sure that they learn to ask for help. I touched on that one already. Again, and you will be asked to, everybody's expected to take the test. So at the end of the year now, we pay for them in the fall, and then the students take them in the spring. We do still have the same course agreements. Ours look a little bit different than the middle school. So everybody that's going to be getting these, make sure you get one for each pre-AP course or AP course that your child is interested in. Because we don't, everybody's situation is so unique once you get to high school, we don't have just a 9th grade form. Each course will have its own form. You don't need to worry about getting the teacher's signature on it. You sign it, your child signs it, you bring them back, we get them to whoever's going to teach that course next year, and then the teacher signs it, and then that's who you're going to have the contract with. All of your contracts will be turned back in with your enrollment form tomorrow, so we'll talk about where you're going to get those forms in just a minute. Some sites that you might want to go ahead if you haven't already looked into these. The College Board website, the student.collegeboard.org, That's where all of the AP and SAT information is. Khan Academy is linked very closely with College Board. They work very well on building study sessions and tutorials for each of the AP courses. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. I highly, as the academic person, recommend Khan Academy for any course. You can type in whatever you need tutoring in, and there's videos on Khan Academy. It's a great resource. Any questions about pre-AP or AP? Anything you can think that I skipped? Okay. All right, so in the main building, we will have the clubs and organizations will be in the main hallway. The sports will be in the gym. The counselors are going to have a table set up in the main building, and all of the pre-AP forms so that everybody doesn't get congested out here trying to get to it. We also will have those. They're in what we call the concession area. If you went to school here before the field house, the concession area in the building is in the same place. Don't leave yet. Don't leave.
Don't leave yet.
Probably one of the most important things to say is the due date for your forms is tomorrow, January 29th. The counselors are going to be going to CAHS on Wednesday, February 6th and 7th to meet with your students one-on-one and be able to ask questions or answer questions with them. So if you have notes you need to write out to the side or concerns, then definitely fill in the lines correctly, but feel free to add to that if you have some concerns or questions. And I think we're about to have another special presentation, maybe.